Hello and welcome to an update about Clover Health Investments. It's a stock that was requested and therefore I do cover it here on YouTube. We want to talk about a few scenarios. It is not a clearly bullish chart, but obviously we have come close to a point where there could be a major turning, soon potentially. Obviously this is highly speculative. I'm not telling you that there is anything clearly bullish here yet. But it has definitely shown us a downside move, which is pretty much full. Okay, and I want to share with you a couple of wave counts that could apply here, if only for educational purposes. So we're looking first of all here on the 4-day chart. The first wave count that I see as the most probable one is a 5-wave pathway or 5-wave move to the downside. So this would not be possible as an impulse, but it can be counted, at least in my interpretation, as a diagonal pattern. We have, if we go to the daily chart, switch to the daily, we have initially very clearly a 3-wave move down, clearly. Okay, so it's not an impulse down. So this here would be labeled as an A, B, C in wave 1. Then we have in the 3rd wave to the downside, we're obviously then looking also at an ABC. It's obviously easy to retrospectively label that as diagonal now, but within this structure, I would probably have been looking for an ABC structure. I'm going to tell you that as well. But this here was 5 waves down, so it could be the A wave, B wave, and then the C wave is clearly 5 waves down as well. So we have an ABC. I don't need to label but you see 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th wave down in wave A, or you could even have it here. And then the B wave is a flat. That makes even more sense. And then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in wave C of 3, then an ABC in wave 4, and an ABC in wave 5. So also here, here's the question. Probably the B wave might actually be a triangle. We can zoom in. Take a look at that on the 4-hour chart. Is that so important? Not really how you label. There will be multiple ways of labeling the micro. The thing is that you could even have it here. And then you have a or WXY in the B, and then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with an extended 5th. Multiple options to label the corrective movements there. Point is, we have, when we look at the bigger picture, a 5-wave move to the downside technically complete. This is just one way of labeling this 5-wave move. I guess you could find an impulsive way of labeling it, but in today's markets we see a lot of these non-overlapping diagonal patterns, and it's certainly not clearly bullish. Yeah. Now there is a way to label this decline as an ABC pattern, in which I would say we have here 3 waves down, so that would be an A wave. 3 waves up, so that would be a B wave. And then 5 waves down, that could be a C wave. So you have an ABC in the larger A wave. Oops, didn't want to do that. So in the larger A wave, but the entire move, I'm going to change the color in a minute. Then the B wave rally and the C wave down. So let me share that with you. So that's the yellow count. You could say this is an alternative perspective. AB, and now this would be, but then the C wave is technically full, You could have counted the C wave as full because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So actually you would have expected, or at least expected a reaction down here, which happened, but it was only in 3 waves. So that obviously leaves the door open to say, okay, maybe we could call this as a C wave here. And then the wave count within the subwave structures was just slightly different. 1, 2, 3. And then this is a flat in wave 4 and 5. Again, that's not really much more than just academic discussion, really. It doesn't really have any impact on trading, because in both scenarios, we're looking at potentially full wave count to the downside. Looking at the RSI, if we add the RSI to the chart, relative strength index, just need to make sure it's there. Actually, I think I didn't add it properly. RSI. Oh, there it is. Internet is a bit slow here today. So, and then you can see, we need to go to the daily chart, I think. So looking at the daily, we see here basically a double bottom on the RSI, very slight bullish divergence from those swing lows to that double bottom there. If we go to the larger time frames, we might even see a bullish divergence here. Yeah, slight bullish divergence as well, lower low on the price chart, pretty much double bottom, so not really a strong divergence there. But overall on the 4-day chart, the market has moved back into the bullish range. So it did get rejected, the price did get rejected up there. So we are going to take a look at that. So what does that mean actually? I mean, the wave count to the downside is full. Well, that only means, that doesn't mean there is anything clearly bullish. We're going to take a look at the micro now, but it means that we could be open to a larger bounce. Okay, there is literally no support level left. Obviously, the next support is now the last swing low at 60 cents. But there is no bullish structure here whatsoever. So anything here, when anybody's looking for long positions, that's just speculative. Before we dive into the micro, let's establish the key structural resistance level. Structural resistance definitely here, that previous wave 4 high is going to be relevant. And this is at around $1.60. Then this swing high at $3.50. Then $11.15. But let's actually see, I mean, we're far away from that. Far away from that. These are the key levels. And obviously here this swing high as well, just above the other one. It's probably a bit of a range here that you have to expect as resistance. So if we then take a look at the 4-hour time frame, we're now looking for 5-wave movements to the upside, because any 3-wave move will definitely keep the door open for lower, or maybe opens the door just for a corrective bounce. So what does the wave count reveal to us? I think we actually can identify a possible 5-wave pattern to the upside. We need to be careful though, because of the overall chart history. But the actual swing low is the April low, 22nd of April. So what we can do, we can identify a wave 1, a wave 2. This could be a 3, 4, 5. It's now important to identify the relevant fib levels, but the 3rd is long enough to be a 3rd, absolutely. And the 5th is long enough to be a 5th. Obviously, the microstructure is a bit unclear here. You have the gap there. We could look at the extended trading hours if we get any, but there is not much to see there. For me, this looks like a first impulse to the upside, or maybe even diagonal, but you can count it as a solid 5-wave pattern, which means there are 2 options. Yeah, there is the option now that a larger low has been put in place. I'd be naturally skeptical about this, but in that case, we'd be looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're dealing with this. In a more bearish alternative, and there's no way to tell the difference, but the 5-wave move up keeps the door open for higher. This would be an A, B, C, which would then break down at some point. This is sort of what I'm watching right now here on this chart. But due to the 5-wave move to the upside, which appears to be finished, we can add a support zone to the chart. Generally standard support for wave 2 or wave B. They are the same. Starts at the 38.2 retracement, goes down to the 78.6. We're looking at the area between 69.5 cents and 89 cents. Okay, so there is a trade setup. And then if you can watch this area for possible reactions. There are 4 Fibonacci levels, and I go back to the regular trading session hours. 89 cents, 83 cents, 77 cents, 69. And then from there, but only when we have bottomed there, I can calculate a target for the C wave and the 3rd wave higher. Yeah, we won't know which one it is. It keeps the door open for both because we have a 5-wave move up. At this stage, I mean, okay, so let's, we can make some assumptions. What would be the fib targets? Let's assume the price might just come down to the 50% fib level. At least you have some levels to watch. And then the upside targets, $1.57 will be resistance for the C wave, definitely. 1-to-1 ratio. The third wave I'd like to get, I mean, ideally to $1.99, maybe 182, but sort of higher than the 1-to-1 ratio level would be good. Yeah, can always extend a third wave. And then there should be a fourth wave and a fifth. So I think these are the things to watch out for. Looking then at really the micro level, at this stage, I can't even rule out one more extension in wave 1. That fourth wave looks a little shallow, but actually it's okay. It didn't quite reach the 38.2 fib, so I can't rule out that maybe we're working on a larger diagonal and, you know, the third is up here and this is just the fourth and we get one more high. But then the support area is still relevant, right? Overall, as long as the 69-cent level is holding now, the focus could be on higher prices. At the moment, again, maybe looking at the 30-minute chart, it's possible, it's possible that we're currently working on this B wave or wave 2, and that in the microstructure, we're just only in the process of finishing the A wave, because it looks a bit like a 5-wave move down to me. Then but please bear in mind that really micro counting of individual stocks, it's a bit challenging, especially with the chart history that we have. But I haven't really seen a clear B wave bounce, so I prefer to see a bit of a B wave bounce, which means it gives us an initial resistance area, and that is between $1 and $1.08. That's sort of the standard resistance area for a B wave rally. A direct break higher would indicate that the wave 1 extends, because what I would prefer is that we see a little bit more of a healthy B or wave 2. Yeah, there are not any, long-term targets really that I can give to you. And I think it goes without saying that a break below 69 cents will mean that this reversal attempt is failing, okay? That this here, the situation was different. Yeah, this reversal attempt in April was different. This was clearly 3 waves up. So the most bullish that you could have proposed there was a large ABC structure. We now have actually an initial 5-wave move up. So it is more promising than what happened here. Yeah, but please be aware, I think this here looks also a little bit like a 5-wave move up, that what we had here. Please be aware that due to the overall chart history, this chart is super, super questionable and not clearly bullish, but there is a support area to watch, but I'm highlighting it in orange because I wouldn't be surprised if it breaks. That's my update about Clover Health investments. Thanks all. Bye-bye.